Did you know that the God of the Old Testament went through 6 different upgrades in how people understood him? Yeshua himself revealed the final version. One evening, after the apostles had listened to Yeshua's profound conversation with Jacob from Crete about the nature of God, they were left with their own questions. They came to Yeshua, hungry to understand more about the Father in heaven. Yeshua, perceiving their confusion, began to gently teach them. He was surprised that they didn't fully know their own spiritual heritage. "Don't you know the traditions of Israel about how the idea of Yahweh grew?" he asked. "Are you unaware of what the scriptures themselves show about the evolution of the concept of God?" And so, the Master began to unfold the entire majestic story for them. He explained that the Jewish people's understanding of God wasn't static. It wasn't handed down perfectly complete. Instead, it was a living, growing idea that evolved over generations, with each stage bringing a clearer and grander picture of who God is. He laid out this divine progression in 6 clear stages. 1. Yahweh, the tribal protector. This was the starting point, a powerful God worshipped by the clans around Mount Sinai. It was Moses who took this primitive concept and elevated it, proclaiming Yahweh as the Lord God of Israel. Even at this early stage, Yeshua explained, the Father in heaven accepted their sincere worship, no matter how simple their understanding was. 2. The Most High, El Elyon, the universal sovereign. This was a huge leap forward. This concept was revealed by Melchizedek to Abraham. It portrayed God not just as a national deity, but as the Most High God over all. Abraham believed in this expanded idea, blending it with his older beliefs from Mesopotamia. 3. El Shaddai, the divine power. During their time in Egypt, the Hebrews encountered another concept of the God of heaven. This idea of God as El Shaddai was absorbed into their beliefs and, long after Melchizedek, merged with the concepts of Yahweh and the Most High to form a more complete Lord God of Israel, the Creator. For Elohim, the plural mystery, Yeshua pointed them all the way back to the book of Genesis. Do you not recall how the scriptures begin by asserting that in the beginning the gods created the heavens and the earth? He highlighted this as a persistent, ancient hint of a more complex divine nature, a concept of a trinity, of 3 gods in one that had found a place in their ancestors' faith. 5. The supreme Yahweh, the all-powerful and all-merciful, by the time of the prophet Isaiah. Centuries of reflection and revelation had culminated in a magnificent concept. God as the universal creator who is simultaneously all-powerful and all-merciful. This grand view of God virtually replaced all the previous, smaller ideas. 6. The Father in heaven, the loving parent. And now, Yeshua declared, we have reached the pinnacle. Now, do we know God as our Father in heaven? This was the good news, the gospel of the kingdom he came to proclaim. It was a religion where the believer is not just a subject, but a son or daughter of God. He concluded that the revelation of God as a loving Father, coexistent with the Son and Spirit, would continue to grow brighter for all eternity. To prove that this evolution was real and recorded in their own scriptures, Yeshua gave them a brilliant example. He pointed to the book of Samuel, where an older text states that the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and that he personally moved King David to sin by taking a census. But Yeshua asked, when a later writer recorded the same event, after their concept of God had grown and matured, he could no longer attribute evil to Yahweh. So what did he write? He showed them that the later text says, Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David. The story is the same, Yeshua explained. But their understanding of God's nature had grown too much to blame him for evil. Can't you see the growth from one generation to another? He didn't stop there. He showed how their laws evolved alongside their concept of God. He listed an early primitive set of 10 commandments from before Sinai, which were heavily focused on rituals and sacrifices, like not seething a kid in its mother's milk. Then came the more ethical and moral 10 commandments from Moses at Sinai. This legal evolution reached its ultimate peak. Yeshua said, in 2 stages. First, in the teaching of the prophet Isaiah, where the negative commandments were transformed into the great positive law of love, and second, in his own declaration, to love God supremely and your neighbor as yourself. This is the whole duty of man. When Yeshua finished, a profound silence fell over the apostles. They were utterly shocked and bewildered. They had never imagined the faith of their fathers as a living, growing journey. The concept was so vast and revolutionary that no one could even form a question. Without a word, each man went to his sleep, his mind and spirit reeling from the breathtaking vision of a God who had been patiently leading his children into ever greater light, all culminating in the revelation of a loving Father, which they now saw embodied in Yeshua himself. If our understanding of God can evolve, what's one outdated version of God you've had to update in your own life? Share your story below. Your journey might help someone else see God more clearly. Thank you again for walking with Yeshua with me. Appreciate it. Don't forget to share, take good care, and God bless.